You too. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Look, XRP's entire history, it just flipped, and nobody is ready for what this exactly means. If you hold XRP, hey, what I'm about to show you, it's going to be the biggest shift that we have ever seen since the lawsuit began, and it all starts right now. You can see on your screen the full list of pending XRP ETFs. We expect by the end of next week, right before Thanksgiving, if you remember what Brad Garlinghouse said, 7 spot ETFs to be live. We waited years for this moment. Look, it's not because XRP doesn't just have one ETF coming. It literally has 7 that are confirmed with another 20 or so in the basket waiting. We have a full-blown lineup here. It's all forming an entire wall of institutions circling like sharks around the same prize. You see it on your screen. Bitwise already live. 21 shares coming next week. Wisdom Tree coming next week. Grayscale coming on Monday, along with Franklin Templeton. You have CoinShares, ProShares, Meme XRP ETF, Volatility coming as well. The big one to watch here, obviously, is going to be Franklin Templeton. Why? Well, because they have $1.5 trillion under management. Remember, these ETFs, and we're about to talk about it in just a couple of minutes. Why don't we see price rise from these ETFs? Why is the price going down? If you pay attention to my tweet, it is pinned. We talked about this. We talked about what to expect when these ETFs were going to come to life. We did a live stream on this 2 weeks ago. Go back to the channel, give it a watch. Everything we talked about is playing out. People are acting like they had no idea this was going to happen, but I told you this was going to happen. We've seen it happen with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Litecoin. XRP is no different. The institutions, they front run the markets. Now look, all of this, it's not retail hype. This isn't Twitter speculation going on out there. We're talking about major institutions stepping forward with real filings, with real liquidity, and with real plans to onboard billions of dollars into XRP through, here's your key word, regulated, compliant, and approved channels. But here's the crazy part. A lot of people, they don't realize how many applications are already in the pipeline. This is what happens right before a liquidity explosion, right before you get price discovery, right before the moment where people look back and say, damn, why didn't I pay attention to when these signs were obvious? And trust me, speaking of being early, you better sign up for that free. Yes, free. Did I say free? Crypto newsletter. The link is down below, and we still got spots for a one-on-one call. Been crazy busy, crazy booked with them. So much value in those calls. You better go get your set up now. Now let's get over to this, because I confirmed, because there's so much going on with the XRP ecosystem, with the ETFs filings. Most people are distracted by the price chart, and I don't care what the price is doing right now, right? It doesn't matter, because in order to get XRP's real price, and we know the real price, it's not $2. We know it's a lot higher than that. You need utility. You need money coming in, big money coming in, right? Not retail money. Retail money doesn't move these markets. This is not the Wild Wild West of 2017 where Coinbase said they were going to list your token and you did a 5x. Those days are gone. But now the big money, the big capital is coming into the space, and that's what we want to see. So next week, Chad confirmed. Obviously, we know about Grayscale and Franklin. Those are Monday, but by the end of the week, 21 shares, CoinShares, and Wisdom Tree. That brings the total ETF count, that's 5 plus the 2 live, to 7. I put out the entire worksheet that I built up around ETF inflows, and you can get a good idea from the volume. We're on day 2 of Bitwise, day 6 of Canary, of what we can expect moving forward. And then I told you a very specific time frame to pay attention to. That was 30 to 60 days. So figure December 1st, your countdown starts. 30 to 60 days, it puts you into Q1 of 2026, right? January, February-ish is the time frame on that. I'm excited. You should be excited about this. I mean, price right now, it sucks. I get it. Look, I see all the comments. I see all the people on Twitter. I see the doomsdays callers. I've been here for 8 years. I have never seen a cycle, this is my 3rd one, where there wasn't an alt season at all. I don't care if the alt season alts just do a 2 to 3x, or if these alts are going to do a 10 to 20x. It doesn't matter. There has always been an alt season. Even in 2020, when the bull market was cut short, we still received an alt season. Now let's talk about this before we get into this clip, because I get this comment a lot and I see your comments, so I want to address it. Why XRP's price does not move at first and why it will move. We're going to address the question everyone wants to know. So why doesn't price explode immediately when an ETF launches? It's a very easy answer. ETFs don't pump on day one, folks. They accumulate. Look at Bitcoin. The price didn't instantly moon on launch day. It was the inflows over time that created the sustained upward pressure that we saw on it. ETFs, they behave like mechanical buyers. They allocate slowly, they rebalance themselves weekly, and then they dollar cost average without emotion. They stack during dips and they buy when the liquidity is thin. That's why it feels quiet at first, right? We get the excitement because we see the numbers coming in and the volumes that they're producing. But it seems quiet when we look at the price aspect of it, right? Your ETF inflows, they're silent until they aren't. And that is why, exactly why actually, XRP, its setup is so rare. When ETFs hit price action, it's always delayed. But when it hits like a freaking freight train, folks. Which brings us to this clip that you need to see. This is Canary Capital. This is our man Steven up here from Canary. And this is what I meant when I told you that the energy behind XRP ETFs is different. Every cycle that has one moment where insiders show their actual hands, where the people who manage billions start smiling at questions that they can't fully answer. That's where the tone shifts, where you can feel that something bigger is happening behind the scenes. This clip that I'm about to show you, this is that exact moment. You can hear it in the room. You can hear it in his voice. This wasn't a maybe one day. It's here. And people have no idea what is coming. Listen.
Oh, yeah. All I would say is that you're being really humble with some of your first mover advantage. So I'll be the one to say it. Your XRP launch was, as measured by daily trading volume on day one, the number one launch of all ETFs and ETPs in the US market this year. That is an absolutely insane stat. And so I'm going to use a round number of $60 million of daily, dollar volume on day one, which is just part and parcel to two things. Number one, you brought something to market where there was demand. And number two, the market wanted it and needed it. And so those type of liquidity parameters are something that really should be applauded. It should be applauded by the crypto industry. It should be applauded by the ETF industry. It should be applauded by the markets. So congrats to you guys. That's no small feat.
Yeah, really appreciate it, and really acknowledge my team as well. We've got great partners, we've got great lawyers, Chapman and Cutler, but we also have an outstanding team that, some of us have been working together for a long time.
Look, you can just feel it. The vibes are different, right? The hype is there. The institutional money is coming in. There is real demand for these XRP ETFs, and for a good reason. It is the only asset in the US that has regulatory clarity. It's going to be ISO compliant so we can tap in. Ripple, who's building on top of the XRP ledger, have a multitude of partners between central bank digital currencies working with governments around the world. And this solves a broken SWIFT system that hasn't been replaced in 40, 50, 60 years? Decades, right? This is that AOL moment. But let's move over to this because we just showed you about the 7 spot ETFs that are going to be live by the end of next week. We also told you that there was about 24 spot ETFs that are going to come to life at some point. Those are all their own spot ETFs. But what we never account for are these baskets of ETFs because Bitwise just launched, they have a separate fund that is launching. That is an index fund, and it has a 5.2% holding in XRP. And this allocation is completely separate from their solo XRP fund. We have basket galore coming out. And it doesn't matter if XRP has 1% of the basket or 99%, because even if it has 1%, if you look on the screen, Cardano has a 0.7. One's more than 7. If we look in this, you don't see what? HBAR is not in here. So HBAR doesn't have a part of this, but XRP is part of it, right? All that matters is that we are in here because the fact that we are in here means that they need to buy and hold that XRP. Bitwise is one of the most respected names in crypto indexing. if you didn't know. They don't take lottery tickets, folks. They take positions and assets they believe institutions will need. Not that they want, but they will need exposure to. A 5.2% in an index fund, that should tell you everything. And I've said this before, and I will continue to say it. The assets that you want to be accumulating are the ones that are going to get ETFs, because they know what the institutions want. They know where the demand is going to be. And at the end of the day, retail's not going to be the one pumping your bags, everyone. The institutions will be the ones pumping your bags. ETF inflows, they really haven't even started. There's only 2 live. One of them's only 2 days old. The other one's 6 days old. We are in the early stages. I told you 30 to 60 days of this constant accumulation, and billions of tokens are going to be scooped up off of the market. But if you really want to understand why all of this is happening so fast, we really need just to take a step back and look at something massive that is going on in this world. Because what's happening globally right now, it makes these ETF launches look tiny. And we're talking about this, Tokyo. That's right. They just broke the global financial system. Most people don't understand the chain reaction that is going to come from this, and that is going to hit every asset class, including crypto. Japan's 30-year bond yield hit a 3.41%. That is the highest it's been in decades. It sounds boring, I get it, but until you realize that Japan owes 230% of its GDP. Do you know, here's a fun fact for you, that Japan survived for 35 years on near zero interest, and that ended today. Inflation's up, bond yields are spiking, China is pressing military and defense spending. It is absolutely exploding. And the Bank of Japan, they have 2 choices. Raise rates, which is going to trigger a debt spiral, or you keep rates low and you destroy your savings through inflation. They're going to choose option 2, which means that the yen carry trade, the liquidity engine of global finance for 30 years, it's about to unwind. This is not a correction. This is a regime change, folks. 350 billion to 4 trillion of hidden leverage position. They could all unwind fast. Last time, it even tremored, and the NASDAQ dropped 13% in a day. This earthquake, it hasn't hit yet. Rates worldwide, they are going to be repricing permanently. Every asset priced on free money, it's about to get repriced. And where does liquidity go when the legacy system starts cracking? It goes into alternative assets, into non-sovereign assets, into crypto, and specifically into assets built for settlement, liquidity, and global value transfer, just like XRP. I want you to think about all that, and I want to bring this all together. We just covered a lot of information. Look, you got multiple XRP ETFs pending, 4 launching next week, bringing your total to 7 by the end of the week. Call it 7 live by December 1st. You got institutional index funds already holding XRP. You have a liquidity crisis erupting globally, and a Bitcoin cycle entering its most explosive stages, all at the exact same time. This is what a setup looks like. This is what positioning looks like. This is the beginning of a biblical rise and what it looks like, not at the top, but right here in the silence. Before the charts wake up, folks, you need to pay attention. If you're still here, drop a comment down below. Let me know you're early, because if you're watching this video, guess what? You are early. More big updates coming in our next video. Stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and hit that thumbs up, and I'll catch all y'all